just how quickly we're seeing this market get worse. It was the worst day for Wall Street since 1987. Leadership or policies and technologies that are good for the world move forward. This comes from BlackRock over and over again. They say that gun makers should do more to protect American lives, which seems like a step in the right direction. Companies said they would make things safer, but so far, working with authoritarian states has done the same thing. We are giving BlackRock money without knowing it, and we have made it our duty to help lower that over time. Putting out its numbers this morning. About 1.2% of shares are down. But what about expectations? That's what that business is all about, but it seems to be. Are you interested in making money without doing anything by selling automatically on Bybit? I'd like to share something interesting with you that's free. You don't even have to sit in front of your computer all day to follow my trades. Just click on the link below. You can also see how much money I make every month from trading by clicking the link in the description. Making money at your own pace is what it's all about. Look it over. Like most things that have to do with cryptocurrencies and banks, we will talk about Ripple and XRP today. Okay, now that we've said that, let's begin. After a long time of talking about it, we've looked closely at cryptocurrency, how to use government ties, how to pay people, and other similar topics. A lot of things have been going on in the Bitcoin space for a while now. A lot of what the SEC has done, though, has been driven by a secret goal. Additionally, many powerful individuals have been seen playing around with the SEC in an effort to really persuade them to go after certain projects, say certain things, or do certain things. This has been the norm for a while now. The question of what the SEC's secret goal is in suing Coinbase and Binance came up for the first time in June. But first, let's go back in time a bit. Let's look back at the emails that Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler sent each other in November 2021. Letters are a way for lawmakers to get things done. Additionally, since these people have been working with officials for a while, I think that some of them are getting paid. I don't know how much money is being done. They are working together to reach their main goal, though. We know that Elizabeth Warren and Brad Sherman are two very powerful bankers who have been using their jobs to change decisions about markets like Bitcoin. What they wish is the question that remains. Ultimately, they desire power, don't they? Retailers aren't allowed to make a lot of money with cryptocurrency. It's all the same when it comes to stocks, right? What about the stock market? There are a lot of controls on the stock market. But what else is it, you ask? Control it and apply manipulation. That's their goal in regard to cryptocurrency. Bitcoin as well. Why do you think that big organizations and incumbents like BlackRock are suddenly becoming interested in cryptocurrencies? To begin, cryptocurrency has stopped and is moving more slowly. All of this happened because of what the SEC did, right? One of the tokens that I think has been severely suppressed for a very long time is XRP. It also presents one of the greatest risks to the conventional banking industry. Besides all of this, though, the main thing that bothers me about crypto is when people like Elizabeth Warren bring it up and talk about silly things that happen with it. We just saw an article in the Wall Street Journal go live. These are terrorists from Amos. The Israel strike caused millions of cryptos to go up in value. This makes no sense at all. That being said, the real amount of money raised is not just as much as the Wall Street Journal says it is. We also know, and I'll talk about this in a moment, that they really do ask donors to stop sending Bitcoin. I already said that we would talk about that soon. First, though, look at this. It was October 24 yesterday. It's been 2 weeks since the Wall Street Journal story, which is 14 days. Amos is the new person Elizabeth Warren blames for the fight against Bitcoin. These claims are not true. Everything they do is meant to hurt Bitcoin, but we know that none of this is true. Yes, she and more than 100 other senators are pressuring Biden to do something about how cryptocurrency is used to fund terrorists. But they will never talk about how the dollar and other fiat currencies have been used to fund terrorists around the world. No matter what the crime is, drugs, murder, or something else. Fiat currencies have always allowed people to use money for illegal things. In addition, it has given money to many of the drug and violence problems we have now. But they'll never talk about that. They only talk about cryptocurrency. But you ask, what's so crazy about this? To give you an idea, here are some things. One of them is a political wallet linked to Hamas that has been approved by the Treasury Department. A report from Politica says that MPs are now very interested in the role that cryptocurrency plays in funding Hamas operations. The approved wallet has $16 in it and hasn't sent anything in 18 months. Sure enough, $16. This is really crazy. We are going to keep doing everything we can to stop Hamas terrorists from getting money to commit crimes and scare Israelis. This is Janet Yellen. To do this, sanctions must be put in place, and partners and allies must work together to find, freeze, and seize any funds in their countries that are linked to Hamas. They are, however, talking about how important Bitcoin has become. Anyway, that hasn't played much of a part in this, as far as we know. It only made a small difference. From 2014 to 2020, the US and the UN put about $4.5 billion into Gaza, with $600 million going to Gaza alone in 2020. This is despite claims that Hamas turned water pipelines paid for by the EU into homemade missiles. But the Wall Street Journal was one of the main players, albeit an exclusive one. They've talked a little more about this. It was someone else who did briefly talk about this subject. What worries me is that this plan will end cryptocurrency. This is known because Elizabeth Warren and many other people have been trying to get it passed. To put it simply, this bill is against crypto. There is, however, a lot of evidence that this story is not true. Sam Lyman has talked about this. In fact, he put out a paper in April of this year saying that a Wall Street Journal story about Hamas and cryptocurrency was missing important background information. People who give Bitcoin to Hamas were told to stop. Why? Because the blockchain is public, Western intelligence was keeping a close eye on all of their transactions like dogs. Money laundering with Bitcoin has been called a typically stupid crime for a reason, which is why the chart shows a sudden drop. It brings attention to everyone involved. Remember this as the normal suspects get more angry about cryptocurrencies over the next few weeks. Everything about this is crazy. Someone else, not Sam Lyman, always gets along with them. In fact, I was only talking about officials and other similar people because they never brought up the Silk Road. For those who don't know, Silk Road was carefully watched and tracked, which let them see who was getting paid. It led them all the way to the golf course. Not only that, but we already know that Ross is in jail for life. Why do I bring this up? Because they keep acting like it's not possible to keep track of Bitcoin transactions. We know that Bitcoin can be tracked. It is known that all Bitcoin payments can be tracked very easily. What do you think the real source of funds is for these operations? Are you sure they're not using cryptocurrency? No money is being used. But these leaders want to spread the idea that these two things can be done with cryptocurrency. What's so funny about this, you know? I shouldn't even say that because it's not funny. A lot of people don't invest in cryptocurrency because they think it's a scam that's used for everything. But these people don't think about it at all. What has always made drug activities possible? What kind of money has paid for about half of the truly frightening things in the world? Money and cryptocurrencies.